Okay, so we have our high and it's grouped together, right? So I'm going to duplicate them and I'm going to rename this one TrashBot High, because when we go to export it, it's going to remember this name. And then I'm going to name this one TrashBot Low. And then we're going to go to Geometry, Z-Remesher. I'm going to make it, let's try 2 and hit Z-Remesh. All right, so here's our low. I'm going to go to, let me hit Shift F. It looks pretty low. And then I'm going to go to Z plugin, UV master, and then hit unwrap. And Z plugin, and then I'm going to hit flatten so we can see it. Now, what I'm going to do is, this is a really ugly unwrap and it doesn't work for game. So what I'm going to do is re-export this and I'm going to unwrap it myself, okay? And I'm going to show you kind of my, my workflow. So I'm going to export this high. And you'll notice that it remembered the naming convention. So I'm just going to go to desktop and I'm going to make a new folder called TrashBot. And then I'm going to hit open, export that. Now, you never have to unwrap your high. You only unwrap your low. Now, here's the trick to cleaning up or unwrapping a model in Maya and then baking it out, is you can't move it in Maya at all. You have to unwrap it wherever it is on the grid. So you'll see what I'm talking about in a second. So I'm going to export this as an OBJ, TrashBot low. And then I'm going to open Maya. All right, so here's my TrashBot low. I'm going to go to show grid. You can see how it's below the object. You cannot move this at all if you're going to do any changes before you take it into Substance for cleanup. So like I was telling you, I'm going to go to UV texture editor. This is a hideous unwrap that comes out of Z. I can't even pass this on to an art director or someone else for cleanup. So what I'm going to do is just isolate each one of these components and just use the method that I do in the fire hydrant video and just go to mapping, planar map on X, and then I'm going to add my own seam. And because this is spherical, you want to unwrap it like a map. Now even the topology of this looks pretty bad. So I would even go in as far as like, and redo the topo on this. And you know what, let me redo the topo on the head just to show you how that works. Okay, so here's the head model. And as long as I don't move from this position, I can still export it into Substance or bring it into Substance and get a good thing, and I don't need this original geo. So like I said, this is hideous geometry that came out of ZBrush. So what I'm going to do is make this live. So now I can't select it. But what it allows me to do is draw geometry onto the surface. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go to Quad Draw. I'm going to turn on my wireframe here, and I'm going to find the center of my grid. And I'm just going to start off with 2 dots. I'm going to go to perspective mode, and you'll see that it draws right on the surface. Now I have 4 dots. I hold shift, and I can create the topo. So I create 2 more, and I'm just going like this. And I'm going to go to the back view, so just so I can find that line. And I'm going to draw right on the center of that edge. And you'll notice that it drew it. Now, the best thing is probably to hide everything but that. So I'm going to uncheck Make Live. You know what, I'll leave it for now just so you guys can see it. So I'm going to go around the model and just drop some dots. And I'm being pretty liberal with the distance, because once you have a nice quadded area drawn, if you hold Control and you click, it'll add edge loops going this way. But I'm going to do that at the end. So like because I just want to kind of get a close proximity to it, something like this. to object mode, just hit enter. So just so I can see it, I can hide everything but that. You can see it doesn't look bad. It looks like I've got a triangle there. I can go to edge mode and just fill that. Or I can actually delete that. Uncheck this. Make sure quad draw is back on and hold shift and I can redraw that quad that was a triangle. Go to object mode again, hide it. Doesn't look too bad. Now I can go ahead and just turn quad draw back on, hit shift or control rather, and just add a few more loops to make it look a little bit smoother. All the way around. I'll go to my front view. I'm actually going to uncheck make live and I'm going to delete that original head. I don't need it. I'm going to go to edge mode, hit R, flatten that out. So I'm just cleaning up the topo at this point. I'm going to hold X, just kind of snap that. Let's take a look at how that looks. Looks pretty good. I'm going to delete freeze transformation. Let me hit Control A. You can see that they're zeroed out. So I'm going to mirror geometry. The best way to do it is to make it really huge like this. And then go to Mesh, Mirror Geometry. And then, because the bigger the size, the better the movement. Actually, let me move this vert in here. Looks like that edge loop. Let me go ahead and straighten out that edge loop too. I'm just going to clean up some of this stuff. This is a good time to use that average vertices tool I was telling you about, where you select the verts, shift right click, average verts. I might do it on this whole bottom area. Okay, so as long as it lines up somewhat in that area, so let me leave it just like this for now. All right, I'm going to go to this guy. I'm going to go -X, hit apply, and then in this setup here for poly mirror 1, I'm going to increase my merge threshold and just move the pivot closer so it snaps together. So now I've completely cleaned up that model, and then all I have to do to bring it back to the original size is make these 1. Unhide everything, you can see that it's there. All right, so I'm going to go to Edit, Delete All by Type History, so I can clean that out. And then in the next video, I'll do a quick unwrap on all of it.